Hello, everybody. Welcome to the premiere of Season 2 of the Combine. I am back. Some people didn't want to hear that, but I don't care about my haters. Today, we're going to be doing some superlatives for 2022, an action-packed year of sports. Great, literally from the first day to the last. And then after that, we're going to be talking about the College Football Playoff, which is actually tonight. This is a live show, so fingers crossed that everything goes well. Season 2 of the Combine starts right now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
Welcome back. Like I said, we are going to be starting off with superlatives of 2022. So similar to the NFL Pick'em that I did last semester, I sent out awards for just stuff for 2022, and we had people vote. I want to say we had 16 or 17 responses. So me, Grant Wheeler, and Ray Collado all been on here before. How was your winter break, guys? How was your little...
Fantastic. It was very restful. I needed it. It was a stressful semester last semester, but I'm ready to get going here in spring of 23. Let's go.
Let's go. Had a wonderful winter break. Last semester was amazing. Looking forward to another season of hitting the field. And the Combine, of course. Can't forget about the Combine.
Of course. So actually, Ray's Giants play the Vikings in the playoffs, and I don't like that, and so we're beefing.
And you're not going to like that. I think the Giants are going to win too.
So we're beefing for the next week or whatever. So we're going to start off Athlete of the Year 2022. The people decided Messi was first, so Lionel Messi, and then second place was Steph. So Messi, he's the GOAT now. I don't think there's any debate between that anymore. Before, you did have the debate between him and Pele and anybody else, Ronaldo. Old like CR9, like C9, but now he won the World Cup.
Yeah, it's undisputed now. That's not any shot at Pele or Ronaldo. They're still great players, some of the greatest players of all time. But at the end of the day, Messi has it all now. The one knock you could put on him is that he didn't have a World Cup. And in historic fashion, he gets that World Cup that he's been so desperately coveted.
Yeah, that was the final piece he needed. He had everything else on his resume. It was just the World Cup. And it took a couple times, but hey, he still has one more than Ronaldo does. And at this point, it is undisputed. It has to be. He got it done. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, Messi's only knock was he didn't have any international success when it came down to it. And then he won Copa America, and I want to say 21, and then he won the World Cup. That brings us to Game of the Year, which actually is the World Cup final. Absolutely electric, incredible. I was watching with my roommates, and they don't even watch soccer, but they were on the edge of their seats. Penalties, everything phenomenal. Even last-minute save, Mbappe showing why he's the next wonder kid. He was hyped up, and now he's like, okay, here I am. He won it in 2018, obviously with France, and then Argentina came up on top.
I will say that was probably the greatest international football match I ever saw, at least personally. I mean, so Argentina had control of that game 2-0. I'm like, okay. And then I use the bathroom, and I come back, and I see that it's 2-2. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. And it was back and forth all the way through. Mbappe he was unbelievable. I mean, he was carrying that French unit. But Argentina, of course, had the last laugh in penalties, and yeah, they did it.
And like you said, your roommates, they don't really watch soccer, but they were on the edge of the seats. I feel like this is the first World Cup that I've been able to witness where all of America would gather around to watch it. It was like it hit that stratosphere where it hit the American people, which normally soccer isn't too popular here, but I feel like it's finally been getting traction the last couple of years, and this World Cup really was icing on the cake.
And the pace of that final was so fast. It was back and forth. It kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. It was like the most electrifying soccer match I ever saw.
Especially just extra time in general. The last 30 were just 2 goals in the last 30. That's how it was.
It's crazy.
It was the first time where I'd seen people talk about soccer on Twitter and social media, and the sentence didn't start with, I don't like soccer, but it was just, this is great. I see why people like this. And then, of course, after that, they cut to, what was the game? Falcons, Jaguars or something right after that, and people were like, I'm not watching this. Like, I just watched a great soccer match, and I have to watch Falcons, Jaguars. So NFL single game performance of 2022. I hate this because it cost me my fantasy championship, as I'm sure multiple other people in this studio club did. Jamar Chase against the Chiefs when he dropped 52, and my roommate gritted through the doorway because he had 11 catches, 266 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And I wasn't even watching. I saw the alerts, and I was like, man, this is.
You don't see a stat line like that. It's tough. I mean, 11 receptions for close to 300. I mean, that's a GOAT performance.
And 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Against the Chiefs.
That's like a Calvin Johnson type performance.
Dude was playing my career. Like no one just see. I see the stat line online, and I'm like, bro, that's not right. I'm like, let me double check with cameras. Is this really the stat line I'm looking at right now, bro?
It happened right at the beginning of the year, so I feel like people forgot about it in a sense. Like the other 2 of the votes were ones that were recent, ones in the past 8 weeks, and then that one was like, oh, this was, by the way, it was 11 catches on 12 targets. It wasn't even like 15 targets dropped.
Yeah, 11 of 12.
Yeah, 11 of 12.
And I think I voted for him for best performance of the year as well.
It was the best NFL performance of the year. More recent, and we're switching sports now to NBA performance of the year. Luka Doncic, 60 points, 21 boards, 10 assists, game-tying tip to force OT after missing the free throw. That was, the first 60-20 game since Wilt? It was some crazy stat. Usually, when it comes to NBA stats, it's like, oh yeah, this is the first player, but then like Wilt did this.
But you know what's funny?
10
I feel like
times.
we're seeing this night in and night out now. Like all these 40-point games, these 50-point games. It's starting to become a regular thing now.
Yeah, but the thing was with Luka, not only 60 points is an amazing number, but the dude got 20 boards and 10 assists on top of that. He's a walking triple-double, backstepping everywhere, going to the lane at will.
And he makes it look so easy.
It reminds me of Harden. 2017, 2018, the year, it was Giannis' second MVP year. It reminded me of Harden where he was just, he had a week straight where he dropped 50 with 10 assists, like 9 boards, just consistently. It was just, it's incredible.
And the thing with Luka, he's so great that like you can say a 35-point game or a 30-point game is an off night for him because he puts up that much production.
Career highs for most people is a career low for him. And like you said, anytime you compare to Wilt, you know you did something video game-like if you're compared to Wilt.
You're in great company. if it's you and Wilt, you're...
It's always good. It's always positive.
Phenomenal.
Always.
So we have the NFL Surprise Player of the Year. It's actually the same as the Comeback Player of the Year. I don't agree with it being comeback, but whatever. Geno Smith won NFL Comeback, NFL Surprise. I think he's clearly a surprise player. I think he played in 15 games in the last 5 years. Then he comes out, he sets the Seahawks franchise record for most yards. I think he was second in the league in passing completion percentage. The Seahawks are the 7th seed. They were projected to be.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think anyone saw them doing anything this year. Most people projected them going 4-13. They didn't think Geno Smith was going to be that productive, especially in the passing game. Hey, a 10th-year guy. He has experience. Remember, he was a starter for a couple years with the Jets early on in his career, so he has that experience. And hey, he showed it this year.
I got a little sore spot for Geno Smith because he took my man Eli Manning's spot.
Yeah,
had him crying on TV, bro.
The Giants.
So I'll forever have a sore spot for him. But yeah, no one could have seen this coming. I feel like this may be more telling on Russell Wilson because like everyone was talking about like, oh my God, he was that team and stuff, but he leaves and they're in the playoffs and look what he's doing, stinking it up with the Broncos. Broncos country,
let's ride to whatever pick they have. So NBA surprise player was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Oklahoma City Thunder. Right now he's actually leading for most improved odds.
He's insane.
He's been elite this year. He's been
absolutely.
People would think OKC's bad. There's a lot of people who think that in the era where stars want to move, that Shai is getting tired and he's like, oh, I want to get out of this garbage team in OKC. But he's
keeping them. He's keeping them
relevant.
Yeah, exactly.
He's keeping them afloat without Chet this year, and that's all you can really ask for.
No, he's so versatile. Like he can literally do anything on the court.
And he's clutch too. He's hit a few buzzer beaters or close clutch time daggers and stuff like that, and he can finish. He's
very unique talent.
He's very good. Yeah. I mean, he was extra. He was drafted by the Clippers, and then he was extra like trade whatever in. I want to say the Chris Paul trade way back then. Like he's been
a 2011 thing or something with the veto or something. Is that what you're thinking about?
No. More recent when. He was like.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, when he was like a rookie. So NBA Comeback Player of the Year, Klay Thompson. This is the last one we have. Klay Thompson hasn't played in 2 years, came back.
Yeah, everyone was talking about they didn't think Klay Thompson would be the same, but it's not like he's always been an especially agile player. I'm not saying he's just a spot-up shooter because he could shoot off the dribble for sure, but he's never been known for his agility. So for him to come back and still be consistent, dropping 20 points a night around there, 28 points a night, it doesn't really surprise me as much, but it's always nice to see someone come back from such an injury like that.
Yeah, he tore his ACL and then tore his Achilles.
I'm saying, without question, he's a comeback player. I mean, arguably 2 of the most gruesome injuries in all of sports, and the fact that he's playing at a somewhat pretty high level, yeah, you got to give it to him. Have to.
So that is all for the superlatives. Thank you guys for joining. I will be mentioning them later in the show, but they don't know that yet. So next up, it's gonna be Isaiah and Kelly are gonna be joining us. We're gonna give a little preview of the college football championship tonight. Catch you later.
I'm going with Cowboys versus Giants. Why? Because I am a New York Giants fan, and I want my first pick of the week to be my team. I see an upset for the New York Giants this Sunday. Bet your entire savings, and I'm telling you right now, they're gonna win. I don't care what you say. It's gonna happen.
I have to go with the Raiders, I think, for this one. I don't see them losing.
Welcome back. It is now time for our primetime picks of the week, the best segment. I'm currently doing awful, standing at 16-10, Oklahoma State and Texas. I'm going Texas 35-27.
All right, Jeff, don't tell me your winner, but who is going to the Super Bowl?
The New England Patriots.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
God.
gosh.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
God.
The
Oh
NFL
my
is gonna
God.
the NFL is gonna make it happen.
Welcome back. So I am joined with Isaiah DeAnda Delgado and the wonderful girl boss Kelly Campbell. How's my pal Kelly and how's
We're just
Isaiah
starting
going?
off hot this year.
We are starting off
aren't
hot this
we?
year.
I said the one time pals to Cameron over Christmas break, and I have not heard the end of it. I was trying to be like not professional, but like not call him word I can't say on camera. So pals it was, and that was weeks ago. But how was your break?
Pretty good. I went to Chicago. It was negative 20 plus degrees, and then I came back. My mom can't talk because she has strep and bronchitis and everything. Everybody froze. It's mad cold and it's mad warm here, so it just wasn't good. But out there, it was fun. I'm 21 now, and I'm ready to turn up on Combine again.
So actually, kind of big news for Combine, I guess. Over the break, we had backup host auditions just in case something happened. The backup host of the Combine is Mr. Isaiah right here. So
Thank you.
take a bow, whatever. So let's get into the semifinals. Kelly, I know you want to talk about Ohio State losing.
I do.
I know Camden is about to yell at my ear saying you better not.
I just, one of my favorite things that happened for 2023 was just when that clock struck midnight. And literally on midnight, like what a pleasant gift to me. That's how I knew this year was going to be good. As soon as the clock struck midnight, Ohio State went for the game-winning field goal, 47 yards, I believe. Super reliable inside the 40, Camden. And he missed it bad. He missed it wide left.
Little
So
Vikings
bad.
kicker out there.
So bad. It was battle of the mid kickers that night, to be honest with you. But I mean, God, what a terrible way to start his year.
I thought they let Camden make a wish and go out there to kick the game winner. I was like, all right, this is our baby boy's time to shine.
No, quite literally. But I mean, honestly, that was a great game. Instant classic. Like, I was watching that. The playoff games last couple of years haven't been super great, so this year was super rewarding to have some really entertaining playoff games.
Admittedly, I did not watch TCU Michigan. I
watched that one.
That was the early game. I was driving back up from home, so I did not get to catch it. I saw the score alert. How was TCU Michigan?
That one was exciting, but I don't think that TCU won. Sorry, guys. I think Michigan lost. You can't throw 2 pick sixes. As much as I want to root for this underdog story and everything, Michigan was just so bad that game. They played terrible. Then going into the fourth, that second half, they just caught fire. And yeah, they almost came back, and they want to blame that targeting call. We would have won it. You weren't hitting a Hail Mary to win the game. I'm just going to break it to you. But yeah, TCU, I love rooting for them. It was a great game. I think this is the first year that both games have been competitive since 2014 is when the college football playoff started.
Yeah, usually the margin of victory is like 25.
Yeah, it's usually bad. It's Oklahoma
Right.
versus Bama or like something.
We had a
blowout.
good game like with Georgia Oklahoma like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah,
but I
Baker.
feel like the other game was Alabama Michigan State, and that was
And that was like 38.
that was a
38,
blowout
something
by like
that.
40
bad.
points. I mean, Alabama was up 21 in the first quarter. So this year was awesome to actually have like
2 of
entertaining
them.
football games, and maybe that's because Alabama is not around anymore. But fine with me if we get games like that every year. So
Looking forward to tonight. We're going to start with Georgia. Kellie is in Georgia Bulldogs colors. I don't know if it was on purpose. I don't know if it was an accident, but she is. So, Miss Kellie Campbell.
it was an accident actually. So we were supposed to look nice today, and all my black shirts I already wore last semester. So had to switch it up with some color. I'm excited, guys. Stetson Bennett, his last college football playoff game, unless he's finessed away to get another year of eligibility.
He's like, he could run for U.S. right now.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Literally. He's an old guy. I mean, he's older than me and Cameron, and that's hard to do. So
That was an unnecessary shot.
You're older than me.
I put us in the same category.
Never talk about a woman's age.
This guy, smart. So anyway, Stetson Bennett has 3,823 yards on the season with 23 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. He has an 85.6 QBR. And in his game against Ohio State, he went 23 for 34 with a 67.6 completion percentage. He averaged for 11 yards a pass against Ohio State, which is
It's a first down.
Which is a first down. Frankly.
Sorry, I'm not giving exquisite nighttime analysis right here, but no, like that's if you're doing that, you're fine.
Yeah, I know. And
Believe it or not.
wow, oh my gosh, it's like you get the first downs, exactly what you're trying to do in college football. But I mean, one of his weapons came back, number 5. I forget his last name. It's totally slipping my mind right now. But he came back last week, and immediately he was an instant impact from the second the game started. So it's going to be really cool to see how Georgia does this game. One thing that they really need to work on, though, if they don't want TCU to somehow sneak in here and beat them, because they were an underdog against Michigan, too. So you do have to watch out for the Dogs, even though they're playing the Dogs.
They're an underdog all season.
Yeah, pretty much. And the first game they lost was December 3rd against Kansas State in the championship game.
Yeah.
In overtime.
Rematch.
In overtime. Right. So, like, a lot of emotions there. We can talk about that after. But Georgia really needs to focus on their secondary, really on their defense as a whole. They're struggling with injuries. They are going through the guys. They keep putting them out there. Something that really happened in that fourth quarter is they were dropping like flies within the last 2 minutes of the game. I don't know if that was, like, playing with the clock thing, but I feel like if they're dropping like that with 30 seconds left, when they're on defense, it's not the time you want to drop. You don't want Ohio State to have more time to think about how to win the game. So
It wasn't smart. Like, defensively, it wasn't a smart call. Like, Kirby Smart, like all the things. You think he'd be clicking. Their
That
defense
was a
has
really
been nasty.
bad punt.
No, I
I'm
wasn't
so
even.
sorry.
No, it was just a slow-mo registry. I was like, wait a second, this dude's name. But anyways, I wasn't trying to get into the pun. Ignore that. I wasn't trying to do the pun.
No, I was just saying that timeout will go down as one of the greatest timeouts called in the history of ever. Like, Kirby Smart calling a timeout right before Ohio State kicked that fake punt.
He just wanted to wait until midnight. Oh, never mind. Wrong one.
Yeah, I'm talking about a punt.
Yeah, I know. I heard it.
No, totally fine. But like that bled up to it, and Kirby Smart calling that timeout right before they converted that, and then they had to punt it. That changed the entire course of the game. I mean, imagine they did actually convert that. They scored a touchdown. Who knows what happens next?
Camden would be sitting right where you are.
Yeah, he'd probably like my outfit too, but
Poor little baby.
it's okay. He'll get better. He'll be fine. He'll go to the Big Ten championship game next year like he always does. He will get over it.
I think something that has to be acknowledged about Georgia is they got shredded. The draft took away all of their defensive talent. They had 5 defensive first-round picks last year, and then they just came right back.
They also have a top 2 recruiting class like every year though.
I saw something on ESPN. Their average recruiting class is like 3.2. And
yeah, over the past 5
she's
years,
like
they're
40-something.
2.2, 35 over the past 5 years. That's their average. It's bad. Like, they're completely underdogs. If we look at Kendre Miller, their star running back, who's probably going to be out this game with an MCL sprain, unfortunately. He was a 3-star coming out of high school from Texas.
Right. But Kendall Milton, their running back, was a 5-star coming out of high school. So it's like they're no shortage of talent.
I wouldn't say that they're high on talent either, though. When you look at Georgia, they're like way more stacked. TCU was 200-1 odds entering the season to make it to the championship.
Yeah, I know.
So
didn't like Desmond Howard put them in the playoffs like at the first week of the year or something like that?
it was a bold take. They've been like, I've been on nighttime during on nighttime, I picked against TCU. Like, I've been going against them, and I've had to talk about Kendra Miller and all these guys, and like, oh yeah, they're definitely gonna pop off. But like in reality, deep down, I was like, this is the week the underdog collapses. So like again, here we are at the freaking championship, and it's like, all right, I guess they're gonna lose, but then maybe they win it again.
Maybe they do.
They've done it all season.
They were picked. You guys would know, 6th or 7th in the Big 12 before the season started. They were picked not even to finish top 5, and then they just somehow just ran the table.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
I guess first-year coach Sonny Dykes from SMU, so the new offense, Max Duggan's actually
The backup. Like, he was the starter last year, but he entered the season as the backup. So for him to come off the bench and then like...
And just completely dominate.
But if you look at his stats and everything, it's what he was doing last year. They just gave him more
higher
volume. Yeah.
Right.
That's an air raid offense.
But it can't discredit the 3,546 yards he's thrown for this season and 6 touchdowns.
6
interceptions.
Or excuse me, sorry, 6
Silly
interceptions.
goose,
I know, I looked at the wrong.
32
32 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I apologize. But
Sorry, Max Duggan, if you're watching this.
sorry to Max Duggan if you're watching. But I mean, he's a little younger than Stetson. He's a senior too, but like an actual senior.
Yeah, not a super duper senior.
Right.
Yeah, senior citizen on
Yeah.
Georgia, then you got a senior. Yeah, it's a little
And
different.
his QBR is right below Stetson as well at 79.2. So, I mean, 2 quarterbacks, their numbers are very similar. He actually has thrown about 10 more touchdowns than Stetson Bennett. So, obviously, the teams they're playing are different calibers. But is Max Duggan declaring after?
Yeah, he already did.
Okay, yeah. So 2 of their last games in college, I mean, this is once for all the marbles. I think they're both going to really go out there and put it all on the line, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out.
I just want to highlight the fact that last year, Stetson Bennett was like the Cinderella story. Like, oh my God. Like, look at him.
He was a little darling.
He was America's sweetheart.
But at the
He
same
was
time,
Camden, but in college football.
It's because he was playing Bama, so like they're like, well, we don't like Bama, so go Stetson.
Right.
Yeah, everybody completely flipped on him though. Like every single comment section hates Stetson Bennett now, and it's
Right.
crazy because this is a whole team of Stetson Bennett's he's going against. So like, oh, we'll root for TCU, who has like the Jim Thorpe Award winner. Like they have the top defensive back. Like there is talent there.
They
I'm
have
not
Coach
gonna
of the
argue
Year,
that.
they have Jim Thorpe, they have the accolades, they just don't have the pizzazz.
Right.
Yeah, or the SEC backing them.
Right. I mean, hey, like their uniforms they're pretty clean though. The all white ones. I don't know what they're wearing tonight, but the uniforms look good.
I don't know. I rock with purple.
You see, the purple looks good too. Like I'm saying, they have the money for it. I mean, it's a private Christian school. Like
In
they're-
Texas.
Right. They definitely are no shortage in the funds area. So I think TCU. I mean, if they make this game competitive tonight, I mean, they're doing really well in recruits from the transfer portal already. Like they got Alabama running back Trey Sanders, and I think when he gets healthy and when he's there, he's going to make a big impact as well. So TCU it's not like they've been off the scene. They've been around.
They've been around. Yeah,
They've been around.
They were one of the first before they joined. Back when they were in the Mountain West, when it was them in Boise. When it was the constant like, if a Power 5 team doesn't deserve it or deserved it,
Right.
it would be them or Boise. Back when they had Andy Dalton. Back when they had Josh Dox was a few years ago. Back when they had Gary Patterson for the longest, and then
They arguably got robbed in 2014 too when they didn't make it into the playoffs.
100%.
So
yeah.
That bowl game they played in that year I think it was against Michigan State, was insane.
If Dykes wins it tonight, he's the fourth first year head coach to win it, and the first since I think 2001 with Miami. So I don't know, like they've been slept on all season. I hope they pull it off, but realistically, like Georgia's just been that dog the entire season.
Terrible.
They've just been dogging people all season.
Terrible.
No,
Even worse. So predictions. Even worse. So
It really would be the glass slipper on the Cinderella
It would
story.
Oh my God.
So predictions, close, not close, who wins? I have Georgia. I'm going to say Georgia's 12.5 point favorites?
Yeah.
I see TCU covering, but I do have Georgia winning. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's go.
Oh, I was gonna let you
No,
go. Okay.
you go first.
I do still think that Georgia wins, even though I'm trying to rep for TCU. The talent discrepancy is ridiculous. But I could see them not covering. They don't have Kendra Miller's not going to start, so I don't think with the sprained MCL, they're not going to get any run game going. So I think Duggan's going to get clowned.
Honestly, with that injury, I think it is going to affect them a little bit. But if they have been able to really coach up number 2, or not number 2, but like the number 2 guy, if it's a good game, I'm going to be excited. I don't think TCU covers, and I do think Georgia's going to win. I think it's going to be a great game in the first half, but I think Kirby Smart's going to put the fear of God into them in halftime.
He's not Dabo.
And I don't think Dabo's scary anymore, babe.
No.
So I see the dogs beating the frogs.
Quentin Quentin Johnston either completely dominates against them. He's a giant receiver for TCU that will go first round, or like they're getting completely clowned. It's not even going to be close.
Right. Camden, you are in my IFB. I do need to hear Mr. Nighttime to give me the score and prediction. So I'm waiting right now, and I will get it on air. That's crazy. He said TCU 38-35.
Oh, so true.
You went, okay.
He just likes chaos.
Yeah,
He thought Ohio State was going to win too.
Oh yeah, score prediction: Georgia 48, TCU 35.
That's almost covering.
38-27.
That's
Georgia.
literally covering. 35-24. TCU, yeah, 35-24. So that's actually all the time we have for this right here. For the CFP. So I did pay attention a little bit, believe it or not, to the Combine last semester. I did actually listen to my guests. And I kept track of who made takes and who was wrong. And first off, I would like to apologize to the entire country of Morocco. I'd like to apologize to Jeff. I did not make the bet off camera, and because he said Morocco has a chance, and I said, I'm taking that bet. I'm taking your money. I will continue to sleep on them. That obviously didn't happen. I'm sorry. Let's get that out the way. So, I want episode 4. I had Ray and Grant sit right there. We were out 3-4 weeks in the NFL season. I said, do you guys think the Jaguars win the AFC South? Grant said no. He said the Titans would pick it up. I mean, whatever. He said the Colts would pick it up. That never happened. Ray said yes. So, clap, Ray. That's the only one I'm going to say that's actually right. Jets win total. I said 4. Isaiah said that was too much. Isaiah said 3. For some reason, 4 is scorching, but 3 is just fine. So he was wrong there. Broncos record. Isaiah was all down to slander Russell Wilson. It's not slander, but it's true. He was all down to talk so bad about Russell Wilson, say he's a fraud, he's going to get exposed, all of that. He had the Broncos finishing 9-8. I don't know the Broncos record off the top of my head, but I know for sure it's not 9-8. I said they were 10-7. I was even worse. I apologize. Episode 7. Jack was 50-50. He said the Seahawks would not make the playoffs, but he did say they'd be 500, around 500. So but he just said it's not a big deal off camera. He's made so many bad takes about the Timberwolves so far this season that I'm going to chalk it up as an L in that regard for him. Dom, the host of Main Show, made 2 takes. One was whatever, it didn't happen. He said he said this back-to-back, same episode. He said Draymond Green would be traded by January. That did not happen. And then he said something so outlandish. He said the Utah Jazz would finish the number 1 seed in the West. Please look up their record right now. They're not the number 1 seed. They're not top 5. They're not even top 10. They fell off a cliff. And that is actually it. I already apologized to Morocco. I'm so sorry. That's all for the debut of Combine. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to all my guests. We will not have a show next week for Martin Luther King Day. See y'all in 2 weeks then. Peace.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, now I don't got time to laugh.